As Connecticut sees a rise in wrong-way crashes, a new law taking effect today is hoping to prevent more tragedies on the roads. That law directs the State Department of Transportation to install more wrong-way driving alert systems. Joining us to talk details is Republican State Senator Tony Hwang, who is also a ranking member on the General Assembly's Transportation Committee. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and good morning. And wrong-way driving deaths in Connecticut were remarkably high. In 2022, it was up 500% from 2021 and continues to increase in 2023 with really a lot of near misses.
The numbers, as you mentioned, really eye-popping here. We have information from the DOT. 2022, there were 13 crashes, wrong-way crashes, 23 fatalities. Those numbers really jumping from years prior. What's causing these wrong-way crashes?
Well, I think adjusting for driving after COVID, but ultimately nearly 80% of all wrong-way driving deaths are from impaired driving, either through alcohol, substances, or cannabis. The reality is impaired driving and wrong-way driving is a deadly and tragic combination.
So let's talk about this new law. How is this going to make a difference?
Well, I think one part is we're going to eventually install wrong-way detection systems at over 120 exit ramps that are deemed high risk by transportation officials who have studied nearly 700 ramps statewide. You're going to have detection systems, sound sensors, and alerts. And we have made a commitment as a General Assembly to commit $20 million in bonding to install these wrong-way detection systems. Another part of it was to increase education and awareness. But I think really, more than anything else, it really is an awareness and an education that it's so important for people to think twice before they get behind a wheel if they are impaired. Drunken driving is a dangerous decision, but now we have substances and the legalization of marijuana that could impact impaired driving. When 80% of all the deaths from wrong-way driving occur when people are impaired, it really is important for all drivers to rethink getting behind the wheel with any level of impairment. You know, these are preventable tragedies, and the sadness is when you see loved ones that are left behind and people that are devastated by these kind of preventable tragedies. This is something that we can avoid. This is something we can prevent.
And you mentioned that prevention. This is largely an impairment issue. How do you actually tackle that? Is it enforcement? Is it education? What can be done on that front?
Well, it's that multiple. It is enforcement. Law enforcement have been raising awareness in regards to letting people know if you see someone wrong-way driving to take defensive measures, but also law enforcement is looking at enforcement of substance and impairment in driving. It really is a conscientious cultural and societal shift that we need to make. And it requires education, it requires awareness. And we really need to understand that impaired driving is never, ever acceptable. And it's just a tragedy when we have to mourn another loss of life. So ultimately, it requires legislations that we're imparting today, but also a commitment to change some of the structural changes we're doing through the alert system. But all the alert systems and all the money that we can put into it cannot change the most important factor, and that's human respect for other people on the road. Do not drink and drive. Do not take cannabis and drive. Impaired driving is never acceptable, and it's a tragedy that we can prevent.
Important information. Senator Tony Hwang, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for raising awareness about this important issue.
Of course. Have a great day.